Hi everyone, it's Catherine. I hope your Christmas vacations are going really, really well. Your Decembers are safe and happy, and I'm so glad you're enjoying my Insider Movies Christmas edition. I'm so glad you're really, really enjoying that. I really worked hard on it. I'm so glad you're loving that, and you're enjoying my Winter Wonderland video. I can't believe I actually got to see it snow, our first snow. I'm usually able to actually see outside. Like last year, I didn't get to see any of the snow. I think I got to see the snow hit the ground twice. And this time I actually got to see it like fall. And I got to even stand while doing it. I was so excited. I was like, I actually got my feet on tape, like standing up. And hopefully we'll have more of that happen soon. Anyway, so speaking of that, this morning I got a call from the hospital, the place where I'm getting basically the department where I'm getting my procedure done, or whatever it is you want to call it that I'm getting done. And I got a call, and they were calling to basically go over what I'm supposed to do before, like the checklist to go down, like, okay, do you have this done? And have you done this? Have you had any infections? Have you had any injections of this? Are you on any antibiotics? Now, they've been doing this for all of my other procedures, all my other SI joint injections. Like every single one has similar checklists. And the people have been nice. Usually I'm like on my guard. And I like to have my husband do this. He's my care provider, because in today's world, people aren't so nice. It used to be that if you go into the healthcare profession, it's because you're a compassionate person, you like working with people, you have a heart. But today, people go into the healthcare profession because you can make a lot of money. It's a higher paying job, it pays more per hour. And so greedy people go into it. They just want to get the paycheck. And so if a greedy person goes into it, then they are going to be, if they go into it for the paycheck, boy, are they going to hate the job. Oh my God, they're going to hate the job, because, if they're in it for the money, then the people are going to annoy them. It actually requires them to like deal with people who are sick, and we can be so annoying. And you never know, most of the time you get a person like that on the phone, and they're just angry with you to begin with on the phone. And that, as it's abusive. Bottom line, it's abusive. When you get on the phone with a person like that, they abuse you. They verbally and emotionally abuse you. And so I've learned to always have my husband, you can do what's called, they can be your liaison. You can sign a paper or waiver, and they can be your liaison. And what happens is because they're healthy, and also because they're a man, they will get 10 times better treatment, way better treatment, because they're healthy. They're not a sick person, because if you're sick, maybe you don't think as clear, and sometimes just because you're the patient, you get it. And anyway, so that's just something to be aware of. If you are sick, you can get a liaison and have somebody else do it for you. It is not okay to go through the mental and emotional abuse. And it is not you, it is them. And unfortunately, for these procedures, it has to be you on the phone. And I hate that. I hate when it has to be me on the phone. And luckily, with this particular department, I've had luck. I have had luck. And every time I've been like, oh my God, thank God. Like, I start with the meek tone voice, and then I realize I don't have to. Especially the last time, I had an amazing person, and she was just really, really good. And for the first time, I had like actually excellent healthcare with someone who did their job and listened and was not abusive on the phone. And it ended up making the procedure go more smoothly. Everything went better. And you saw the end result. You saw the end result in my walking video. You saw the result. It was just a better video, better result as all the way through, because of that phone call and because of how I was handled and how the questions were handled, etc. Better communication all around. Today was not that kind of day. Today, I got someone who was abusive, and it was someone young, it was someone inexperienced, and I didn't know how it went. But basically, the bottom line at the end of the day, I learned that they didn't know what they were doing. Of course, they thought they knew what they were doing. They, as is with, unfortunately, I hate to be stereotypical because my husband is young, and he is a millennial, but as is with a lot of young, there is a trend where they want to be right. And so if you say anything, just anything, like I said something simple, like I said, for example, I was like, well, I was saying I am pretty sure I'm supposed to have an IV drip. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have an IV drip at this procedure on Friday. And she was saying, no, most patients go in and the doctor prefers you don't. And I was shocked because everyone had been telling me, you're supposed to not drink water, not do this, not have this. And I was like, really? Because even the nurse, but I should have right there asked to speak to someone else. But when you're in the middle of it, it is really hard. It's really hard when you're in the middle of it. And you have to be instantaneous with that. And you want to believe the best in people and believe that they're not really messing with you and that they aren't arguing for argument's sake. And they aren't just trying to be right. And that they're not just being a jerk. And that they really are interested in conversation and with you. And they really are listening. That's the thing, is that you really want to believe that they're listening to you. And so I was like, actually, when I was at the last procedure, she was saying, on your next procedure. And she's like, no, they never do them on that. You never. And I was like, she didn't even listen. And she got angry with me and she chewed me out. And the law, I don't want to go into the rest of the story because, look, the end of it is, look, the bottom line is that I was like, look, I'm going to have to call you back, like, and discuss this with my husband and discuss it. And I'll call you back. And she's like, well, when you call back, you're going to have to call me. And I was just like, no. And she gave me her name. And I was like, I really don't want to talk to her. Like, I really wanted to talk to someone else badly. Because I'm going into this procedure feeling like they don't know what they're doing. And then it was even worse because when my husband came home at lunch, he was like, you got the paperwork and all the paperwork says you're supposed to have an IV drip. And I'm like, but she's saying the doctor prefers you not. And I'm just like, well, what is it I'm supposed to have? And she's telling me this is going to hurt way worse than the last procedure. Look, you guys, I'm already nervous going into this thing. I'm already scared to death. Like, I'm already nervous because, look, I don't want to lose my legs. And I know they're really good doctors. Like I said, I think I have the best, but part of the reason I think I have the best is because I had good interactions with their nurses. And when the nurses hand off someone who's inexperienced and always wants to be right, and they argue with you like that, and they chew out a patient on the phone who's sick, you guys, like, she was rude about she was just angry about even doing the checklist. Like, I couldn't believe it was possible to be rude about asking whether or not you'd been taking antibiotics. And she was huffing about that. And look, I know I have parents watching. If your kids are going into the field of healthcare and you're like, oh wow, that means my kid is like really compassionate, I really want you to check and see if they're involved in any kind of nonprofit or volunteering? Are they going down to Mexico and building houses? Are they going to medical and relief aid? Are they going down to hurricane zones and like volunteering? Is that something they're doing? Or are they just signing up for nursing school? Like, is that what they're talking about? Is the paycheck for it? Because that's all I heard. Like, that's all I heard my husband's friends talk about is how much nurses make. That's all they talk about. And nurses, there's something wrong with the compassion level in this country. And I want doctors and nurses to pay attention to who they have interact with people on the phone, because now I don't feel safe going into this procedure, because the person who spoke to me on the phone last time was the person in the room with me. They were like, I'll be the one in the room with you. I don't want this girl in the room with me at all. I don't want her anywhere near. Oh, God. I know I'm supposed to be emotionally stable and everything like that. My point is that when you're as sick as we are, I'm sorry, but when your ability to walk is on the line, we're gonna be the ones that are emotionally unstable, and we shouldn't be the targets of your anger and abuse. If you're having a bad day, don't take it out on us. If you don't like your field, if you don't like your job, don't take it out on your patients. It's not right. And don't put your least experienced people on the role of, I know they assign calling patients for checklists as the least menial task. I had lipstick on my teeth now, oh well. Anyway, I just know I have a lot of doctors who watch, parents who watch, and I just want to stick that in your heads, and patients who watch especially. Get a liaison. It's not you, it's them. There is tremendous abuse. 98% of the people I work with, 98%. I can't think of a hospital I've gone to. The patients I think of my favorite doctors, and I hate checking in, and I hate checking out. There's like one doctor that I love who's done like the most. She's opened up like the biggest doors, and we won't even schedule an appointment on the way out because the guy is just so awful. He puts us down. He just makes such awful remarks. He just belittles us. He cuts us in like the worst kind of ways that we finally were like, screw this. We're calling back in to make an appointment. Like, we literally avoid his room on the way out. We're like, why are you even doing this job? Because we're like, oh, we need to coordinate with this doctor and this doctor and this. And he's like, now I have to rebook again. And we're like, isn't that your job? Like, I remember, like, at our other hospitals, the ladies love that. Like, they love it. And this guy's just pissed. And I can tell he got the job because of the other guy in the office. And they just love wearing their Rolexes that they get to wear because they're working at such an amazing hospital. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people working in this profession because they make so much money and not because they're interested in taking care of people. I don't know. I'm like, who am I speaking to? I have so many different types of people who watch. So I don't know. That is what I went through today. And I'm no longer looking forward to the procedure. I was trying to rest this week. And with that one call, I'm just like freaked out. That's the power these nurses have. I wish they didn't have it, but we are fragile. We just are. And wouldn't you be? Just wipe out your legs and see how you're doing. And rank up your pain. Just go ahead. You know that horrible scene where they're amputating a guy's leg in Gone with the Wind? You go through that scene. Live that scene every day of your life. You go ahead and live that scene every day of your life and tell me if you get to be emotionally stable. And see if you're worth being the dog that gets kicked. Because you're just pissed that you have to put up with sick people because you want to get paid what you think you're worth because your parents told you that you were amazing for doing F's on your sheets of paper that you cheated on and stole off the internet your papers. God. There are consequences to helicopter parenting. There's this one YouTuber that I couldn't watch anymore because they did this commercial where they said that their kids wrote all over the walls when they came home, and they didn't admonish them because they didn't want to make their kids, they didn't want to hurt their kids' feelings. And I was like, those kids, you're going to write on the walls of everyone they meet and think they have the right to do it. Because you told them it was okay. And that girl just wrote all over my wall. And I'm going to spend the next few days trying to erase her markings to get ready. So I can be strong again. Strong enough to survive this procedure. And be healthy enough to meet the new year with you guys. Just think a little bit about who you hire, why you hire them, why you make the decisions you do, why you make the choices you make, and why you go into the fields you go into. Choices are powerful things. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you so much for all the coffees you've bought. I have to say, I was doing so much better than I ever thought I'd be doing until this morning because of your support through the PayPal me link down below, through the Buy Me a Coffee link. Seriously, I was soaring. I think that's part of the reason I was able to stand up and film that snow. It's because of you guys and your support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I could not have done it without you. So please enjoy that video. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon.